Smart Elections was scheduled to appear in court on September 22nd regarding the ballot recount of the 2024 election. That didn't happen because it was canceled back in July. The Rockland County Board of Elections, they filed a formal motion to dismiss the lawsuit seeking a recount of the votes. If there was nothing nefarious, why can't we recount the votes? Why can't we just do a recount? A recount would make people like me speculate a whole lot less. I remember back in 2020, it seemed like everything was being counted by hand. That Satan even demanded recounts in states that he won. I've been told not to discuss this case. It's sensitive and potentially dangerous. I'm not quite sure what that means, but what I do know is that ICE detainees from Alligator Alcatraz have gone missing. I also know that ICE detainees are being raptured and injured by shooters, strangely with bullets that read anti-ICE. So of course, all of this is being blamed on the radical left. I can either bury my head in the sand or be uncomfortable and pay attention to what's going on. I choose the latter. And I'm not the only one who's concerned about the integrity of the next US elections. Whether you hate them or you love them or you're just indifferent, Newsom has concerns too.
I fear that we will not have an election in 2028. I really mean that in the core of my soul, unless we wake up to the code red, what's happening in this country, and we wake up soberly to how serious this moment is.
JD Pritzker is sounding alarms.
I can tell you that the playbook is the same. It's thwart the media. It's create mayhem that requires military interdiction. These are things that happen throughout history. And Donald Trump is just following.
We have to wait until November 11th to see what happens with the Smart Elections case. In the meantime, we have another group investigating election interference from 2024. We have to look back to see what we need to do moving forward. The Election Truth Alliance is using statistical analyses to determine voting irregularities in Pennsylvania, North Carolina, and Nevada. I've linked their reports on these states in the video description. Their reports look for patterns in voting to spot possible interference. Specific patterns, clustering, spikes, or sudden surges aren't usually seen when people vote normally. When these patterns emerge, it suggests that something unusual may have occurred, and the election needs further investigation to ensure it was actually fair. Their method is based on comparing US precinct level vote and turnout data with heat map analyses developed to identify vote manipulation in other countries like Russia and Uganda. They claim that their analysis show statistical patterns consistent with vote manipulation, things like ballot stuffing or digital tampering. In Nevada, early voting showed a weird pattern. After a certain number of votes were processed by the machines, the results began to heavily favor one candidate. It was much more than you'd expect if everyone voted randomly. Election day and mail-in votes didn't show this clustering. In Pennsylvania, the report found unusually high voter turnout in some places. It resembled patterns observed when elections are tampered with in other countries. North Carolina had problems with voting machines that weren't fully tested before being used. The report spotted patterns related to early voting. The red flags pointed to fake votes. One candidate received a significant number of votes when turnout was exceptionally high. There was a big difference in how well Democratic candidates did in other races compared to the presidential race. Democrats won lots of races, but not the presidency. You can say it was due to protest votes or people staying home. It could also be due to vulnerabilities in voting machines and tabulation systems. We don't know because we should have had hand recounts back in November. I'm paying attention to what's happening with these groups, and I hope you are too. I've added both of their YouTube channels in the video description for you. I almost forgot. Hi, I'm Kina. I talk about hard things with the soft ways. The best way to support what I do is to subscribe and opt to receive notifications when I upload new content. Some of you have reached out for help leaving the US. If you're seriously moving to Spain, please send me an email. The details are listed in the video description. By seriously, you have to have already made your appointment with your Spanish consulate in the US to obtain your NIA. If you don't know what I just said, you're not serious. Watch this video. It's super interesting. I'm not sure what it's about, but YouTube has your data and suggests you would like to watch this next. I'll see you next time. Okay, bye.